Hi, my name is Abby Gavin, and this is my project on gender and multicultural education for Teaching Diverse Learners Project 3. I chose to make an infographic about gender because it's something that everyone is kind of talking about right now. People are always talking about things like female rights and the transgender issue. I thought it'd be an interesting thing to look into it a little bit more and see how we can use gender as a teaching tool. So in our book, it talks about the differences between males and females. During the onset of puberty, males and females undergo hormonal and physiological changes that differentiate their body types. These changes are known to give males a greater propensity for strength and endurance in physical labor, but studies have shown that they do not inherently affect behavior or academic ability. At one time, it was assumed that men were more intelligent than women based on the size of their brains, but today we know that men have bigger brains because men tend to be bigger. It doesn't actually affect the intelligence. Studies have shown that males do tend to perform higher on mathematics assessment, but lower on reading assessments than their female classmates. Boys require greater immersion in language art skills, while girls require the same for mathematics. But teachers should have high expectations for all students regardless of their gender. So, socially constructed differences. Something that's interesting to me, and I think it's important to know whenever we talk about gender, is that anthropologically speaking, sex and gender are two separate things. Sex refers to a person's anatomical characteristics, while gender typically refers to societal expectations of a particular sex. As such, much of what we consider masculine or feminine is determined by society at large. From the moment that people learn a baby's sex, they have different ideas about what that baby will become when they are grown. By providing gender-specific clothing and toys, or discouraging children from doing things that do not fit their expected danger role, like not letting a boy play with dolls, or making a girl keep her hair long. We enforce these expectations. These roles are also enforced by our media, and even in the classroom, teachers embed our cultural understanding of gender into everyday activities. So gender identity is something that we're always hearing about these days. By the time children enter school, they usually have defined ideas about what it means to be a girl versus what it means to be a boy. Most have a gender identity that matches their anatomical sex. However, some identify themselves as the opposite sex, sexless, or in between the two sexes. In many cultures, men are more valued than women because of the aspects traditionally associated with the two genders. Men are culturally expected to be strong, independent, and stoic, while women are expected to be compassionate, dependent, and emotional. Few people fit the exact mold for their gender, but boys in particular do strive to repress feminine traits to avoid being seen as weak. Society as a whole has become more flexible in regards to gender roles, but young people still struggle with their gender identities. So, the cost of sexism and gender discrimination. Sexism is the belief that one gender is better than the other, especially the belief that males are better than females. This can range from domestic situations where the husband or father is in charge of the family to workplace situations where women do not have the same professional opportunities. Great strides have been made in gender equality in just the last century. Women can now attend college, own property, divorce their husbands, and retain custody of their children. However, our deep-rooted cultural expectations for men and women continue to affect how we judge others, though we may not intend to. Certain jobs are dominated by men or women, such as nursing or construction. Women often make less than men in even the same jobs. Women are often passed over for certain positions based on gender. Some people believe that in trying to make things more equal for girls in education, we've even overcompensated and damaged boys' education. How can we bring gender equality to the classroom? Well, Title IX makes it illegal for any student to be excluded from, denied benefits of, or be discriminated against in any educational program or activity based on his or her sex. Students cannot be barred from a course or receive biased career guidance according to gender. To promote non-sexist education in the classroom, teachers should be sure to include the accomplishments of both genders in the curriculum, such as reading the works of female writers or learning about female scientists. They should give girls opportunities to share their thoughts and opinions, because boys do tend to speak out more in class and kind of dominate discussion. Teachers should also make sure to interact with both genders equally. Whenever we group students, we should make sure that we do mix gender in groups. Whenever we don't let the students segregate themselves, it encourages them to see those different kind of viewpoints and uses gender as a bouncing off point.